Today on Good Morning Maine, a convicted killer appears in a Bangor court asking for a retrial.
Plus, the latest election news, including one major office that will be decided by ranked choice voting.
And why this election turned out to be history-making for Maine women. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll have a lot of election news coming up. It was an interesting election day, and some things are still being decided, so we'll get you up to date on that. But first, we're going to check out the weather forecast. You'll notice it's a little bit warmer today, which I don't think anybody will complain about, although we'll see a fair amount of clouds.
Yeah. Hey, I'll take the warmth.
Yeah.
Devin Biggs has all the details.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Thursday. And your first weather forecast brought to you by Shepherd Toyota, your hometown connection for Toyota cars and trucks. Easy to find on Route 1, Rockland, Thomason Town Line. Shepherd Toyota has a great selection of new and previously loved vehicles. At Shepherd Toyota, they don't sell you a car, they help you buy one. Come experience the Shepherd difference today. All right, let's get things rolling out there this morning. We do have a couple of advisories in effect, a small craft advisory up until Friday. That will expire at 7 a.m. We have a gale watch in effect until 4 p.m. on Saturday. I expect it to get upgraded to gale warnings as our system's going to be moving in Friday night into parts of Saturday. And it's going to be causing some high surf issues in a few areas. Moving forward, though, we are seeing a few returns on the radar. You might be noticing a few sprinkles in some areas this morning, especially further off towards the north. But if you're further down toward the south, though, no precipitation to be seen this morning. So overall, we'll be looking pretty decent. This right here is going to track off towards the northeast eventually, and we're pretty much going to stay dry for the rest of the daytime today. So northern parts of the state seeing some precipitation this morning, maybe a few sprinkles in our viewing area, but everyone else looking pretty dry overall. Futurecast for today, again, just a few passing clouds. Today will be under a partly cloudy sky with a few more clouds on the way later on tonight. As for the winds, so the winds may get a little gusty from time to time out of the southwest, maybe getting up to 15 miles per hour at times, but backing off as we head towards the daytime tomorrow. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, again, we'll have a few clouds from time to time, otherwise a decent amount of sunshine with temperatures in the low 60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma.
Thank you, Devin. 2 people now face robbery and kidnapping charges after an incident in Bangor. Bangor police say around 9:45 Tuesday night, officers were called to a residence for a report of a male with numerous facial injuries holding a firearm. Officers arrived, and after turning over the firearm, the male victim told them he had been at a residence on Court Street with his girlfriend when 2 individuals arrived and physically assaulted him and cut him with an edged weapon. He said he and his girlfriend then were held at gunpoint and locked in a bathroom. Police say the male victim was able to gain control of the handgun and escaped the residence by jumping out a window. Officers were later able to locate the female victim. Both were transported to a local hospital for treatment of minor injuries. As a result of an investigation, 41-year-old David Bennett of Bangor and 28-year-old Kanayat Sakabasin of Pleasant Point were both arrested and charged with robbery and kidnapping. They were taken to the Penobscot County Jail and where they're currently being held.
Well, meanwhile, the Penobscot County Court heard arguments for the retrial of a New York man convicted of the murder and assault of 2 men in Bangor. Devin Dagnall has that story.
In 2017, Robert Hansley was convicted for murder and elevated aggravated assault. He was sentenced to 25 years to life. It was concluded that in 2015, Hansley was involved in the murder of Robert Kennedy and the injury of Barry Jenkins in a Bangor apartment on Center Street. Hansley has now requested a retrial. In his appeal, Hansley argues that there was insufficient evidence to support his convictions and that the jury was misled.
Here I have a client insistent that is what he told his attorneys, and it wasn't presented because most clients do follow the instructions of their lawyers.
Hansley now claims that the shots he fired were in self-defense, saying that the Center Street shooting was a kill or be killed situation. He also stated that his original defense attorney did not direct him to claim self-defense. Robert Ellis, the state prosecutor, argues that Hansley's new defense does not align with his original and is even, at points, in conflict with it.
The best defense they could come up with. This defense never came up prior to trial. It came up after the best defense he could have.
No decision was made today. However, the court says a decision will be rendered within 2 weeks as to whether Hansley will receive a retrial. In Bangor, I'm Devin Dagnall, reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Maine State Police have arrested a suspect in a 26-year-old sexual assault cold case. They say 56-year-old Jason Follett of Goldsboro was arrested without incident on Wednesday on a local pier in connection with the 1996 sexual assault of a Hancock woman in her apartment. The alleged victim was 21 at the time of the crime. She's now 47 years old. Maine State Police say evidence collected from the apartment at the time was processed and an unknown male DNA profile was recovered. Through advancements in DNA testing and genealogy over the years, as well as other detective work, police were able to identify Jason Follett as the suspect. He has been charged with 1 count of gross sexual assault and was transported to the Hancock County Jail. Other charges may be pending.
2 separate 3-vehicle crashes close to portion of I-295 southbound on Tuesday at approximately 4:10 p.m. Maine State Police responded to separate wrecks involving tractor-trailer trucks and other vehicles. Minor, non-life-threatening injuries were reported. The wreck was reportedly caused by the roadway being congested and the sun's glare.
Maine Forest Rangers and the Alton Fire Department responded to a forest fire on the Bennick Road in Alton yesterday. No structures were threatened by the fire. It had reportedly been caused by a downed power line. The road remained closed yesterday despite the fire being contained as crews awaited response of the power company.
Well, a warning if you're looking to add a 4-legged friend to your home. Sanford police are investigating a puppy scam on Facebook. They say a buyer will send money for a pup and arrange to meet with the seller to pick up the dog. The seller gives an address, and while the address is real, police say the people living there aren't actually selling puppies. The scammer then stops responding to the buyer, and the victim is out of the money.
It's always really, really important to pay attention to things that you're buying online. You know, from noteworthy, sellers such as Amazon, those are generally a safe bet. But when you're, grabbing ads through social media or any type of other media like that, before you put any kind of money down or any kind of deposit, make sure that you can physically either see or touch the item that you're looking to buy.
Well, Sanford police didn't share the address that's being used for the dupe. Bottom line, though, police say don't send money for anything without physically seeing what it is that you plan to purchase.
It will be next week before voters get the results of the Congressional District 2 race between Democrat Jared Golden and Republican Bruce Poliquin. Though Golden is currently in the lead, the Secretary of State says the ultimate result will be decided by ranked choice voting. Our Jody Hersey has more.
It definitely looks like this race is going to ranked choice voting tabulation. We met with Maine State Police this morning. We have a plan in place for retrieval of the ballots and memory devices from more than 300 municipalities in CD2. Remember, some of those are very small and pretty far away from Augusta.
With neither candidate receiving 50% of the vote, Maine's ranked choice voting will ultimately determine whether incumbent Jared Golden or challenger Bruce Poliquin will be the next congressman for District 2.
No, this is really close. This is one of the true swing districts in the country. About 25 of these districts in the country. This is very close, yeah. We'll see where it all goes.
I like to say he's a workhorse, not a show horse. And the citizens of this district really appreciate that.
Secretary of State Shenna Bellows says both candidates, their political parties, and the media will be invited to Augusta when the ranked choice voting is tabulated.
For people who voted for Bond first and then had a second choice of either Golden or Poliquin, we're going to be reviewing that second preference, and those ballots get reallocated to Golden and Poliquin according to voter choice on those ballots.
Bellows says Mainers will know who will be their next congressman for District 2 next Tuesday. In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Well, meanwhile, a recount has been issued for the Ellsworth City Council race. The recount will be exclusively for candidates John Linehan and John Stein. That's according to City Treasurer Tony Dyer. The initial count showed John Stein winning the third and final seat by a margin of 56 votes over John Linehan. The recount will take place today at 10 a.m. in City Hall. It will be broadcast live on the City of Ellsworth's Facebook page and YouTube channel.
The U.S. Department of Labor yesterday recognized 835 employers from across the nation for their commitment to hiring veterans. In a virtual event held at the department's headquarters, Labor Secretary Marty Walsh celebrated the business's commitment to employing vets in a variety of industries.
You are employers, large, medium, and small, from every corner of our country. But you have all of one thing in common. You have proven your commitment to recruiting veterans, hiring veterans, retaining veterans in your organizations.
Among the businesses recognized were Penobscot Job Corps Center in Bangor, General Dynamics in Bath, and Dead River Company.
It's a nice story, and we will have much more coming up on the elections. By the way, Herman did approve the story you did the other day.
Yep.
For that new track and field improvements, like $3.9 million. Herman did approve that. So,
yes, yeah. A new field that not only the high school and middle school and other grades will have access to, but also the rec teams as well.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Well, the time is now 6:11. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we'll have more election results from around the state, including how people voted on local referendum questions.
But first, let's take another look at that forecast. Today, we can expect a few more clouds, but it will be warm. The high's up near 61 degrees. More clouds move in tonight, setting us up for a mostly cloudy day tomorrow, but it will remain mild. The high up near 62.
This morning, Michael Strahan journeys into the snowy frontier live, getting in close with polar bears. See how the climate crisis is changing their world. The extraordinary journey happens live this morning on Good Morning America.
With roots right here in New England, Thanksgiving is one of our longest-lasting traditions. And now Toyota, the longest-lasting brand, is holding a tradition of its own, our annual Thanksgiving Savings Event. Right now, you could save up to $1,000 with low 3.49% financing on most all-wheel drive RAV4 models. And every RAV4 comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more. Celebrate savings from the longest-lasting brand. Your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
It takes all types to play Family Feud. The flirty sister.
Name something Steve Harvey might wax.
What about that behind?
The way too honest girl.
You just met a guy who's a perfect physical specimen. He's probably what?
Stupid.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC7.
You bet your life.
You seriously asking me this question, Jay? Coney Island. What are we doing over here?
Boosting the economy.
Yeah, give me that money.
Every weekday.
I'm going to give it to you like an Italian uncle. Here you go. You get yourself a little something there. There you go. Right there.
Weekdays at 10 on ABC7.
I had this car checked out before selling it, and there was nothing wrong with the car. Well, I didn't think that there was a coolant leak.
Coolant was clearly leaking.
That's not a leak. Literally, it's like just squirting.
It's just squirting? That's exactly what a leak is.
Hot Bench. Thursday at 3 on ABC7.
Welcome back, everyone. Several municipalities saw referendum questions on their ballots that have big implications for residents and businesses. Matthew Jurasik has more on 2 of them.
As the dust settles following Election Day, some folks in Bar Harbor, Benton, Clinton, and Fairfield can breathe a sigh of relief as their ballot questions passed.
I'm delighted. I'm grateful for the support and the participation of my fellow townspeople. We've definitely won a battle.
MSAD 49 question 1 asks whether the school district should build a new school in Benton. In Bar Harbor, the question was whether they should put daily limits on cruise ship for passengers allowed in town.
We have the issue of 3 aging school buildings that have really reached their life expectancy.
For MSAD 49, voters gave the thumbs up for a new school, but they also voted no on a $1.8 million gymnasium and more bleachers for public use. Even as the school question passed by at least 400 votes, citizens are pondering this decision.
And if I was currently on the school board, I'd be wondering and trying to find out, and understanding why there was such a pushback against it. I mean,
likewise, the Bar Harbor ballot question passed by a narrow margin of 500 votes. This limits the number of cruise ship passengers allowed in the town to only 1,000 per day at a time.
Just when a large number visit all at once for a couple of short hours, the town becomes a circus. It's unmentionable, it's unpleasant, it's unsafe. It drives away all kinds of business.
Looking at both sides of the issue, Kugelmeyer asked whether these decisions were worth it.
The board of directors of MSAD 49 and the superintendent has to ask themselves why they had such a small margin, and are they going to be willing to work to convince taxpayers to put the people in the buildings that they need to run all these programs that they said that they want to have in the new school.
Matthew Jaroncic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Governor Mills stopped at Becky's Diner on Commercial Street in Portland around 9 to grab breakfast, but first met with reporters outside. She says she's now looking towards the next 4 years and even got emotional talking about the campaign. Before coffee and grabbing a booth, Governor Mills talked about how she liked meeting new Maine families along the campaign trail. She says she's planning to tackle problems like high grocery prices, gas prices, heating oil costs. And yesterday she focused on her hope to decrease the numbers of Mainers who rely on heating oil, and even got a little choked up about talking with her supporters.
Leading the state through a very, very tough time. I just got to say, the reception at the polls yesterday was as warm as I've ever seen it.
Mills said President Biden called to congratulate her, telling her he looks forward to continue working with her. She also mentioned there has been no phone call yet from former Governor Paul LePage, who has yet to officially concede the race.
There were a lot of tired city and town clerks as well as poll workers around the state worked well into the night the other night. Many of them counted ballots well into the night as voters turnout was heavier than expected in some places. Bangor City Clerk Lisa Goodwin says they put a lot of effort into getting ready.
This year went really well for us. The setup and everything was good. You know, there'll be little things that we will tweak for the next big election.
The poll workers were fantastic. She says everyone will meet again today to discuss various topics, so they're ready for the next election.
Women are making history in Maine with newfound representation at the Capitol. There are many people who will be firsts in the legislature while vowing not to be the last. Mal Meyer looks at the diverse group of people getting ready to serve Maine.
I'm going to be learning a lot of sort of new lingo. I'm going to be learning.
Mana Abdi is ready to dive in on her new role, representing part of Lewiston as the first Somali American elected to the Maine legislature. She ran unopposed after her Republican challenger dropped out.
It's daunting because there's no blueprint, right?
Decca Dalak knows what it's like.
I realized that there is no voices that look like me in politics in Maine.
The soon-to-be representative for part of South Portland became the first Somali American mayor in the U.S. just last year. That ends in December, so she plans to continue her term as counselor while serving in Augusta.
It is amazing, you know, to be able to be the voice of not only for Somali immigrants, but also immigrants in general.
Together, they're part of a growing group of people of color in the legislature breaking barriers.
What's been most important to me is not to be the last, to make sure I'm holding that door open.
Jill Duson will be the first black woman in the state Senate. She'll represent parts of Westbrook and Portland. That's familiar territory, having been the first black woman to serve on a city council in the state.
But it sounds like you're still nervous about it. Oh, God, yes.
All three women are excited to be part of this new representation while bringing with them a wide range of experiences.
As an immigrant community, as Somali, as a Muslim woman, we're not monolith. We do not all share the same ideas of how to fix things.
They hope to tackle everything from the housing crisis to healthcare to rising heating costs.
It's not about party, it's not about this and that, it's about the people. So let's just work for them.
And that is exactly what I intend on doing.
Fill my plate with your concerns, and I'll, prioritize and figure out how I can work with others in the legislature to move some things forward.
Hey, by the way, one more election note before we take the break. Jonesport also passed that ordinance that's going to allow them to, I guess some businesses down there want to serve alcohol.
Right.
I thought they had gotten rid of that question, but apparently they did something that...
Right. Right. They were a partially dry town before, so
Yeah.
now they're no longer partially dry.
Now they can serve if they want to.
Yeah.
So the time now is 6:20. Coming up after the break, we'll have the latest on Hurricane Nicole as it blows ashore this morning in Florida.
Plus, we'll meet the first Native American woman to launch into space as the nation observes Native American Heritage Month. We'll be right back.
Our Medicare supplement and drug coverage is so expensive, we're barely keeping up with our bills.
My husband and I were in the same situation, so I got some help from the Senior Planning Center. They were able to show us some high-quality Medicare Advantage plans that saved us a lot of money.
The Senior Planning Center, tell me more.
They have helpful agents all over the state, real Mainers helping Mainers. Give them a call, the Senior Planning Center. They were there to help when it mattered most. I'm glad I called them. You'll be glad too.
They needed help, so they asked for volunteers. In 24 hours, I was at the front.
And the captain said, well, we're going to be next. It'll be here in 2 minutes. We saw the torpedo coming in, and it hit us right in the middle. Big thump, but no big explosion. And all I could hear was about 1,000 whispers of, oh, thank you, God. Thank you so much.
I looked at the door, and out comes all these women with those beautiful uniforms on. I think a light bulb went off in my brain, because I thought, I think that would be for me.
Who is it that's still living that was in World War II? I'm one of the youngest.
This Veterans Day, we honor Maine's World War II veterans. Our heroes, their own words, Friday at 8 on ABC 7.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. It has been 32 years since Congress passed a law making November Native American Heritage Month. The entire month is set aside to celebrate the many contributions of the ancestors and the children of the original inhabitants of the land that we now call the U.S. Today, we're highlighting the first Native American woman that NASA has ever launched into space. ABC's Faith Abubi has the story.
The SpaceX Dragon Endurance cruise ship blasted off into space with 4 astronauts and the hopes and dreams of countless people. At the helm of the Crew 5 mission, Nicole Mann.
This is Nicole Mann on board the International Space Station.
The NASA astronaut has become somewhat of a celebrity.
It's so incredible. I've received a lot of letters.
Humbled as she's celebrated not only for being the first woman to serve as mission commander, but also the first Indigenous American woman from NASA to ever launch into space. The 45-year-old, born in California, is a registered member of the Wailaki of the Round Valley Indian tribes.
I feel very proud to be on board the space station and certainly to represent Native Americans and Indigenous people on board. I think it's important that we recognize that there are all different types of people on board the International Space Station, not only from different countries, but from different backgrounds and different nationalities.
Mann holds a bachelor's and master's degree in mechanical engineering and has deployed twice to Iraq and Afghanistan flying jets in the Marine Corps. Space and the stars have always fascinated her. But Corporal Mann says she never thought she could be an astronaut until later in life.
I had never really understood what an astronaut did, who became astronauts, what it really took to become an astronaut. Unfortunately, in my mind at that time, it was not in the realm of possibilities.
Today, Mann is leading a team that's conducting numerous space experiments in an orbital lab. Her son and husband back here on Earth. The only personal item with her in space is this dream catcher.
It's pretty amazing in microgravity because it just floats and the feathers kind of go every which way.
A sacred Native American symbol that's believed to catch bad dreams and release good spirits. A constant reminder of where she came from.
I think that the strength I find in that is a gift from my mother. It's the strength to know that I have the support of my family and community back home, and that when things are difficult or things are getting hard or I'm getting burnt out or frustrated, that strength is something that I will draw on to continue towards a successful mission.
Faith Abube, ABC News.
Hurricane Nicole has made landfall in Florida as of this morning as a Category 1 storm. The National Weather Service says it had maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour as it made landfall just south of Vero Beach. The rare November storm is expected to bring powerful winds to many central Florida beaches. The storm had already led officials to shut down airports and theme parks and order evacuations that included former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. Authorities warned that Nicole's storm surge could further erode many beaches hit by Hurricane Ian in September. The sprawling storm is then forecast to head to Georgia and the Carolinas later Thursday and Friday, dumping heavy rain across the region.
I guess they're saying some areas could get like 8 inches of rain down there, and that's, the wind and rain is the last thing they need. They're still cleaning up and making repairs from the last hurricane that blew through there. So
Ian was very destructive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luckily, this one's a Category 1. I think the winds were down around in the 70 mile per hour range or something like that, which is still pretty strong, but nothing compared to what Ian did a while ago.
Yep, good point.
Yeah.
Well, the time is now 6:25.
It's time to get a full look at our forecast. Here's Devin.
Thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Shepherd Toyota, your hometown connection for Toyota cars and trucks. Easy to find on Route 1 Rockland, Thomas, and Town Line. Shepherd Toyota has a great selection of new and previously loved vehicles. At Shepherd Toyota, they don't sell you a car, they help you buy one. Come experience the Shepherd difference today. Let's get things rolling this morning. No, here we are. We do have small craft advisories until 7 a.m. on Friday, indicated right about in here. And then further down, we're going to have gale watches up, and gale watches are actually up for everybody now. Last until 4 p.m. on Saturday. Beforehand, we'll see this getting upgraded to gale warning. So that other system that will be approaching soon. But this morning, though, we're seeing a few returns on the radar, so a few sprinkles can't be ruled out by any of the precipitation that's falling is in the northern parts of the state. We'll throw the radar into motion. We've had a little bit of this moving through over the past few hours or so, and even as we give you the bigger picture, we're seeing just a little bit more of this that's going to be tracking from the northwest to a little bit to the east-southeast, but it's going to take a general northeasterly jog as the day progresses on, so don't worry about this. We will stay dry as the day progresses on later on. So we might be seeing a few sprinkles this morning, but that'll be about it. Zoom things out right now and give you the big picture. So high pressure is helping us out. I'll push a lot of this further off towards the northeast. We have a cold front located right about in here. This right here is going to be tracking off towards the east as time progresses on, and there's Nicole right there that made landfall in Florida this morning, actually just weakened into a tropical storm. So now it has made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. The latest update now in has it as a tropical storm yet again with winds up to 70 miles per hour, moving towards the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour in these orange shaded areas, or tropical storm warnings that are in effect. Where's it going to be weakening pretty quick as the center of the system is going to stay over land. It'll maintain a tropical storm status for a while, but once we head towards Friday afternoon, possibly weakening to a depression as it tracks off towards the northeast. We'll see the remnants of this system mixed in our backyard, but we'll have to see as it develops. But otherwise, though, moving forward, maybe some gusty winds up to 15 miles per hour today, some gusts up to 20 miles per hour along the coast, and we'll maintain that a little bit later on tonight. All of the winds will gradually back off as we head towards Friday until our next system moves in. Wave heights are still up 5 to 7 feet. That's why small craft advisories are in effect, and of course, higher surf will be on the way as we head towards your weekend. Further down toward the south, though, here we are. We're seeing higher surf courtesy of Nicole. Some buoys seeing up to 29 feet. That's a lot. That's a very high surf, and that's being noted in a few areas. Our average high is 48 degrees. We'll reach for the lower 60s today, upper 60s for you Saturday before that sharp cool down moves in Sunday, and we're back in the 40s as we head towards the next week. Futurecast moving forward, though, again, we're watching those returns today. I don't think we'll have to worry about much rain. Just a few passing clouds, otherwise a lot of sunshine with a mostly clear sky on the way later on site. But again, Friday night and the parts of Saturday, that's when our next system begins to move in for showers and some heavy rainfall at times, maybe even some thunderstorms as we head towards Friday night as well. Here's where it begins to move in. So most of Friday we're dry. It's Friday night where things can get a little interesting, and a decent amount of rainfall as well. 1 to 2 inches of rain cannot be ruled out before we're all finished up, so some more decent rainfall across a good part of the state. So for today, we're dry, partly cloudy, mild and breezy, highs in the low 60s, with that southwest wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 40s, mostly cloudy, not as cool. That south breeze getting up to about 5 miles per hour. Shepherd Toyota extended forecast. Friday is Veterans Day, mostly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. The rain begins Friday night, some thunderstorms possible as well. We'll have upper 60s on Saturday, rain likely, and some afternoon rain Sunday before we dry out on Monday.
All right, thank you, Devin.
Still much more to come as Good Morning Maine continues.
Did you know that it's possible to buy the wrong type of flooring for your home? Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or professional contractor, the experts at Don DeKalb Mainwood Floors are here to help, offering solid pro advice from choosing the right material and color to installation. Don DeKalb features the highest quality hardwood flooring sourced from lumber right here in Maine, from Maine traditions. Not only will you get a floor you'll love, you'll get a floor that will last. Don DeKalb Mainwood Floors. Buy from the best, forget the rest.
I'm Jay Pearl from Carroll Harper & Associates, Maine's most experienced Medicare health plans agency. Every day we hear how complicated navigating the Medicare maze can be. Let us help. From enrolling in Medicare to finding the right Medicare health plan, we are your go-to agency. We represent Martins Point Generations Advantage and other Medicare health plans that meet our quality standards. There's no cost or obligation for our services, so call Carroll Harper & Associates today.
Ben's Auto Body specializes in collision and corrosion repair as well as mild restoration, always using PPG paints and refinishing. If it fits in our shop, we will fix it. Located 8 miles west of Walmart, just off Route 2 in Palmyra. Brandywine Graphics makes it easy. We are the top source for screen printing, embroidery, branded merchandise, and direct-to-garment printing. With 25 years experience, state-of-the-art equipment, and a commitment to excellence, why trust your apparel products with anyone else? And now, Brandywine Graphics can easily launch online stores for your school or organization. Simply design your products from brands like Eddie Bauer, Carhartt, and more. Share the link and we'll do the rest. Like we said, Brandywine Graphics makes it easy. Find out more at brandywinegraphics.com or at our Hamden location.
Ladies, a Maine adventure.
We got them smart wool socks for the entire family. We got PJ pants. We got lots of slippers. Get to Rennie's for all the great items.
Thank you for shopping locally.
I'll take those deals.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Now to the latest on the midterm election ballots across the country. They're still being counted, and the final results will decide the balance of power on Capitol Hill so far. Democrats are outperforming expectations, while many Republicans are wondering what happened to that predicted red wave. ABC's Justin Finch is in Washington with more.
At the White House, President Biden giving his read on the midterms and Democrats' surprise successes.
We lost fewer seats in the House of Representatives than any Democratic president's first midterm election in the last 40 years.
Biden calling the results a good day for democracy and acknowledging voters nationwide sent a clear message.
I'm prepared to work with my Republican colleagues. The American people have made clear, I think, that they expect Republicans to be prepared to work with me as well.
Across the aisle, many wondering why the Republican red wave some predicted never appeared.
The numbers have been amazing so far.
Former President Donald Trump on election night insisting candidates he backed did great, despite many being projected to lose. But Republicans who either stood up to Trump or never sought his support found success, including re-elected Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Thank you for a historic landslide victory.
The mail will continue to process every day.
Out west, Nevada and Arizona are still processing thousands of ballots. The results are crucial to determining control of the House and Senate.
There will be a runoff.
Georgia's dead heat Senate race between incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker now heads to a December 6th runoff election.
We always knew that this race would be close.
If you can hang in there a little bit longer.
With more days of ballot counting ahead, even the president is in suspense.
It's a moving target right now, but it's going to be very close.
And all eyes on a potential upset in Colorado, where firebrand House Republican Lauren Boebert faces a tight race against Democrat Adam Frisch. The two at one point separated by fewer than 100 votes, with nearly all ballots counted.
That was Justin Finch reporting. Well, meanwhile, Tesla is recalling 2 models of cars for problems related to its steering systems. The electric car maker is recalling about 40,000 of its vehicles from among Model S and Model X versions. The model years involve 2017 through 2021. The vehicles could experience a loss of power, steering assist when driving on rough roads or hitting potholes. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says losing power steering assist can require greater steering effort and cause crash risks. Tesla says it has released an update for the problem and that 97% of the vehicles are having that update.
A potential major setback for Russia in its invasion of Ukraine. Russian officials announcing they're withdrawing all of their troops in and around the Russian-held southern city of Kherson and bringing them across the nearby river. Kherson is the only regional capital Moscow has taken in its 8+ months of war. Taking back Kherson has been a main objective on Ukrainian forces for months now. President Biden indicated that Washington was aware of Russian problems, but then back off that line, suggesting it may lead to a compromise between Kyiv and Moscow. Still to come here on the second half of our show, we'll hear about a strange and foul attempted smuggling occurrence out of Florida airport.
Plus, we'll have the latest stories out of Hollywood, that and more, as Good Morning Maine continues.
This is what you were going to be doing for the wedding.
Yes.
The things that are on these pages.
Right.
This bride's reception left her with a bad taste.
Set up?
No.
Service?
No.
Did you provide a bartender?
Yes, Your Honor. No.
No.
Your Honor,
Now the caterer's fed up.
she told me if you don't pay me $5,000, I'm going to go and write the Yelp, and I'm going to write about you.
Judge Judy.
Thursday at 5, only on ABC7.
What I want you to hear today is we're there to listen. We also understand that this is a really hard step to take. And so we're going to help guide you. We're going to listen. You can call us anytime, 24/7. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you need. And we're going to try our best to help fill those gaps as to where you're having barriers or you're meeting challenges. We just hope you call.
This week on Rio, we're celebrating veterans.
Air Force, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Army. Served 30 years with tanks. Did you say tanks or thanks?
America's game.
Grab those devices? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're good at following orders.
Salutes America's heroes.
Marines, huh?
No, not as lean or as mean as I used to be.
Well, neither am I.
Rio's honoring veterans all week.
Weekdays at 7 on ABC7.
This week on the Jeopardy Tournament of Champions, Amy Schneider, 40 wins. Matt Amodio, 38 wins. Matea Roach, 23 wins. They face off in a special exhibition game. Then, they take on last week's winners in the semifinals. Will there be a Super Champ showdown or a super surprise?
Ooh, big wager. It is the tightest of games.
The Jeopardy Tournament of Champions continues this week.
All this week at 7:30, only on ABC7.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Thursday, November 10th, 2022. It's also the Maine Corps birthday.
Oh, the Marine Corps.
Okay, what is the Maine Corps birthday? Is there a corpse I haven't heard of? Marine Corps birthday. Happy birthday to them. My nephew's a member of the Marines.
Yeah, so I have a cousin in the Marines.
We're pretty proud of them.
Yeah.
Well, it's also National Vanilla Cupcake Day, Sesame Street Day, and what is this one?
Tempranillo.
What is that?
It's a, hey, if you keep scrolling.
Keep reading. Tell us, Emma.
Tempranillo is a red wine of the black grape variety that is native to Spain. It has a relatively neutral profile, so it is often blended with other varieties or often aged in oak. It can usually exhibit flavors of plum and strawberries.
All right.
And for as far as red wine goes, Tempranillo is considered crushable. I think that's hilarious wine people talk, because that just means that you can drink a lot of the wine.
I don't know much about wine.
I've learned for work purposes.
Yeah, you were a server, so you kind
Right.
of learn that kind of thing.
Right.
I know I like a little red wine every now and then.
Yes, it's a nice red wine.
Tempranillo.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Thank you, sorry. On this day in history, in 1969, Sesame Street premiered on TV, with it currently being the most widely viewed kids show in the world.
And for birthdays today, we have Brittany Murphy, known for her roles in Uptown Girls and Clueless, who would have been 45 today. Tracy Morgan, known for his role in 30 Rock, is 54. And Miranda Lambert is 39 years old today. I got to see Miranda in concert one time.
Cool.
I really like her.
Where?
She's spunky. In Bangor. She came to Bangor one time.
Oh, right. Yeah.
My daughter was still young at the time. She was around 10, so I would still put her on my shoulders at concerts.
Right.
I think that was the last one because I realized she's getting too big for that. That's one thing I remember about the Miranda Lambert concert.
No,
but we had a great time.
She'll have to come back.
Yep.
She would sell out.
Yeah, I like her stuff.
Yep.
So
I didn't realize she was so young. She's had a lot of success for someone so young.
Yeah.
Yep. Good for her. Good for her. Hey, I mean, and Devin Biggs too. We have a beautiful day in store.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think we're having more clouds move in. We'll still see a little sun today, though.
Right.
But it's warmer. Yesterday, I was freezing. It was only like 45.
Yep.
But I was sitting there,
breezy
I needed
too.
a coat.
Breezy too. Yeah, may have caused those those forest fires.
It's amazing. Later on this winter, 45 will seem like a heat wave.
I know.
But right now, I'm a little baby.
We're transitioning.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what Devin has to say.
And thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Happy Thursday. And your first weather forecast brought to you by Shepherd Toyota, your hometown connection for Toyota cars and trucks. Easy to find on Route 1, Rockland, Thomas, and Town Line. Shepherd Toyota has a great selection of new and previously loved vehicles. At Shepherd Toyota, they don't sell you a car, they help you buy one. Come experience the Shepherd difference today. All right, let's get things rolling out there this morning. We do have a couple of advisories in effect, a small craft advisory up until Friday, and that will expire at 7 a.m. We have a gale watch in effect until 4 p.m. on Saturday. I expect it to get upgraded to gale warnings as our system's going to be moving in Friday night into parts of Saturday, and it's going to be causing some high surf issues in a few areas. Moving forward, though, we are seeing a few returns on the radar. You might be noticing a few sprinkles in some areas this morning, especially further off towards the north. But if you're further down toward the south, though, no precipitation to be seen this morning. So overall, we'll be looking pretty decent. This right here is going to track off towards the northeast eventually, and we're pretty much going to stay dry for the rest of the daytime today. So northern parts of the state seeing some precipitation this morning, maybe a few sprinkles in our viewing area, but everyone else looking pretty dry overall. Futurecast for today, again, just a few passing clouds. Today will be under a partly cloudy sky with a few more clouds on the way later on tonight. As for the winds, so the winds may get a little gusty from time to time out of the southwest, maybe getting up to 15 miles per hour at times, but backing off as we head towards the daytime tomorrow. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, you'll have a few clouds from time to time, otherwise a decent amount of sunshine with temperatures in the low 60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Emma?
Well, according to him, we'll see a little more sun.
Right. I know that's early afternoon. So if you have time for a walk today, maybe the early afternoon is the best.
I might have to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a foul discovery at a Florida airport. The Transportation Security Administration says their agents caught someone trying to smuggle a gun wrapped inside a raw chicken.
The agency shared photos of their find on their Twitter page and say the person was going through a security checkpoint at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. In the tweet, the TSA says, quote, "We hate to break it to you, but stuffing a firearm in your holiday bird for travel is just a waste of time." Get it? It's kind of like a little pun there. Florida has seen an increase in travelers bringing guns into Florida airports. So far this year, the TSA reported that passengers have brought 700 guns to checkpoints, including 120 seized at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport alone. People want their guns, and they're finding unique ways to do it. Who brings a bird on the plane anyway?
Well, I'm more surprised of where raw chicken, checked bag, carry-on?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could say it's a Thanksgiving thing.
Did they know to check the chicken? Was it too heavy?
I bet they ran it through the X-ray or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's not gizzards and stuff. So
that doesn't look like a liver.
No.
Still to come here this morning, Tyler Cruz and Ryan Sudol will have your latest in local sports.
Back right after this.
Ladies, a main adventure.
We got lots of boots, Sorel, Kamek, Columbia, snow pants, ice cleats, hot hands for the entire family, everything you need. Get to Rennie's.
Thank you for shopping locally.
This Veterans Day, join Fox ABC Maine as we salute and honor our veterans. Are you an active, inactive, or retired member of the armed services? Do you know someone who is? Then upload your photos on foxbangor.com/Maine Heroes. We will randomly select as many veterans as possible to win a gift card. Locally sponsored by Jamar Construction Products, LLC, Luigi and Fredericks Florist, Patriot Homes, and Pine State Nutrition.
Wings, Wings, Wings is hiring, hiring, hiring.
Come work at Wings, Wings, Wings.
Wings is #1.
Wings does case management.
Bring hope to families by working at Wings, Wings, Wings.
I work at Wings.
I work at Wings.
Come work at Wings.
Wings, Wings, Wings. Ranked one of the best places to work in Maine for the last 5 years in a row.
Let Hellman's Bakery put a smile on your face with their tasty offerings of breads, baked beans, lasagna, touche and turkey pies, fruit and cream pies, wedding and specialty cakes, pastries, and more. Hillman's, your hometown bakery, Fairfield.
Put a little more cash in your bank. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We will start on the gridiron. For Maine football, going has been a little tough lately. They dropped their 3rd straight over the weekend, but they looked very good against a tough Rhode Island team. And one of the silver linings in that one was the way freshman Rohan Jones has filled the big shoes of Sean Bowman. Ryan Sudol has that story.
It's been a tough couple weeks for Maine football. Their game against Rhode Island Saturday was their 3rd straight loss.
Really like how we controlled the game for the most part. I thought in the second half we did not do that.
Plus, in their game against Richmond 2 weeks ago, they lost their leading receiver, senior tight end Sean Bowman, for the season with a leg injury.
Yeah, obviously, that was tough. It's captain on this team, a big leader. Obviously, we use him a lot.
But his long-term replacement is already making waves. Against URI, freshman tight end Rohan Jones caught his first career touchdown in his first career start.
I motioned, I faked the block on the rover, and went to the end of the zone for the catch. I knew at one point in the game, it was going to come down to him making a play, and he did.
A Montreal native, Jones first entered the program in January as a wide receiver.
He's had to learn 2 different positions in 1 year, so, it's a lot to ask for him, but, he's done a nice job with it.
Pound for pound, probably one of our strongest guys on the team. It brings energy, consistency, probably far beyond a lot of guys his age from maturity level.
And Jones credits his early success with the player who he is succeeding.
I consider him like a second coach because he's been here a while. He's played a lot of football, and he's really a good mentor for me. So, just the physicality aspect of the position, I learned from him.
Jones and the rest of the team will put that physicality to the test Saturday as they try to beat Albany for the 8th straight time. To be the top dogs in this year's battle with the Great Danes, the Black Bears are keeping their attention in-house.
They're a good team, a lot of good players, but, looking really focused on ourselves this week.
I think we're confident going in. We just need to keep working on ourselves, not to worry about what they do, just do what we do best and keep rolling against them.
The Black Bears game against Albany takes place this Saturday at noon at Albany. In Orono, I'm Ryan Sudol, Fox 22, ABC 7.
Thanks for that, Ryan. Let's see if the Black Bears can get back on track this weekend with a game against Albany. That's their penultimate game, and then you have the battle for the musket. Let's stay with some football now. No games for the Patriots this week. They are on a bye, sitting at 5-4, just over halfway through the year. A pretty good spot heading into the off week. Pats held their lone practice of the week on Wednesday. Just attendance-wise, David Andrews back at practice. That is a good sign for the O-line. Now, there's a lot to, let's say, discuss if you're the Patriots. While the record shouldn't really surprise anyone, 5-4, it has been quite the first half of the year. Losing Mac Jones early, winning the next 2 games with rookie 4th-round pick Bailey Zappi, now winning 2 straight with Jones after that weird Monday night game. So some discussions surrounding the quarterback position, but Belichick says lately the way they've been taking care of the ball has been good to see.
One of the best things we've done in the last couple of weeks is take care of the football in the passing game, especially. We've had it stripped out, but in terms of the passing game, we've kept the ball from being intercepted and really from the defense getting their hands on very many of them, and that's a good thing.
All right, next up is the Jets after the bye. All right, let's move on now. Any boxing fans out there, there is a big night this weekend for pro boxing in Maine and a chance to meet a Super Bowl champ while you're at it. The Portland Boxing Club is hosting an all-star night of boxing Saturday at the Expo. Doors open at 6, and there will be a meet and greet with former Patriots linebacker Rob Ninkovich and heavyweight champ Buster Douglas, who knocked out Tyson as a 42-1 underdog. Just a little nugget there. There will be 6 pro bouts, and headlining the show is the middleweight championship fight between Jason Quirk Quirk and Anthony Hines, and it's the 107th show in the Portland Boxing Club's history.
We've done it from the grassroots up, the small shows, the bigger shows, and now these shows where we'll have 3,000 fans there. We have such a great fan base in Portland. This is the right kind of town to support the locals. These are local guys that people have seen come up through the ranks as an amateur and now as a pro. So it's a great, we have great community support.
It should be a fun night down there. Let's move on to some hoops now. Celtics, hot start to the year for them. They're looking for their 4th straight victory and 8th overall. Pistons in town on Wednesday, looking to take a victory on the road. These two will meet again on Saturday. First quarter, Jaylen Brown from Jason Tatum. 2 dribbles, pulls up, splashes the 3. Celtics are up 9 early. They're up 3 now. Moving on, and it's going to be former Maine Celtic Sam Hauser. He takes a 3. That makes it a 6-point lead for the Seas. And then with 2 minutes to go before the half, check out this play, this monster throwdown from Brown. The Seas just having their way tonight with Detroit. And then the second half was all Jason Tatum. He would rattle off 16 points in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter, just really shooting the lights out there. And the Celtics, they go on to win big, 128-112. So they have been starting the year pretty good down in Boston. Looks like they're picking up right where they left off from last year. New head coach, no problem. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Living in Maine means long, cold winters and hot, humid summers. Whatever the weather, Bangor Heat Pumps is your solution. Open 24/7, Bangor Heat Pumps takes care of you at home or at work. We operate statewide and service all brands and models. Understanding moving can be stressful. We will help move any units you may have. We offer a veterans discount in our home with a Capeless Hero discount. Visit us online at BangorHeatPumpsLLC.com or call or text us at 307-7746. Bangor Heat Pumps.
I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. Winning car accident cases is what we do. Check out a few of our big wins.
I broke my wrist and they got me $185,000. What did the twos do for you?
I injured my hip and they got me $260,000. What did the twos do for you?
I needed multiple surgeries and Lowry & Associates got me $350,000.
Call the twos. We win for you.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do? Call 222-2222.
Bring them on. If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place as spectacular as, well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom, boom, boom. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom! Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, welcome back. Let's send it over to Devin for another check of that forecast.
Thank you very much, Craig and Emma. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Shepherd Toyota, your hometown connection for Toyota cars and trucks. Easy to find on Route 1 Rockland, Thomas, and Town Line. Shepherd Toyota has a great selection of new and previously loved vehicles. At Shepherd Toyota, they don't sell you a car, they help you buy one. Come experience the Shepherd difference today. Let's get things rolling this morning. No, here we are. We do have small craft advisories until 7 a.m. on Friday, indicated right about in here. And then further down, we're going to have a gale watches up, and gale watches are actually up for everybody now. Last until 4 p.m. on Saturday. Beforehand, we'll see this getting upgraded to gale warnings for that other system that will be approaching soon. But this morning, though, we're seeing a few returns on the radar, so a few sprinkles can't be ruled out by any of the precipitation that's falling is in the northern parts of the state. We'll throw the radar into motion. We've had a little bit of this moving through over the past few hours or so, and even as we give you the bigger picture, we're seeing just a little bit more of this that's going to be tracking from the northwest to a little bit to the east-southeast, but it's going to take a general northeasterly jog as the day progresses on, so don't worry about this. We will stay dry as the day progresses on later on. So we might be seeing a few sprinkles this morning, but that'll be about it. Let's zoom things out right now and give you the big picture. So high pressure is helping us out, and I'll push a lot of this further off towards the northeast. We have a cold front located right about in here. This right here is going to be tracking off towards the east as time progresses on, and there's a cold right there that made landfall in Florida this morning, actually just weakened into a tropical storm. So now it has made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. The latest update now in has it as a tropical storm yet again with winds up to 70 miles per hour, moving towards the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour in these orange shaded areas or tropical storm warnings that are in effect. Where's it going to be? Weakening pretty quick as the center of the system is going to stay over land. It'll maintain a tropical storm status for a while, but once we head towards Friday afternoon, possibly weakening to a depression as it tracks off towards the northeast, we'll see the remnants of this system mixed in our backyard, but we'll have to see as it develops. But otherwise, though, moving forward, maybe some gusty winds up to 15 miles per hour today, some gusts up to 20 miles per hour along the coast, and we'll maintain that a little bit later on tonight. All of the winds will gradually back off as we head towards Friday until our next system moves in. Wave heights are still up 5 to 7 feet. That's why small craft advisories are in effect, and of course, higher surf will be on the way as we head towards your weekend. Further down toward the south, though, here we are. We're seeing higher surf courtesy of Nicole. Some buoys seeing up to 29 feet. That's a lot. That's a very high surf, and that's being noted in a few areas. Our average high is 48 degrees. We'll reach for the lower 60s today, upper 60s for you Saturday before that sharp cool down moves in Sunday, and we're back in the 40s as we head towards the next week. Futurecast moving forward, though, again, we're watching those returns today. I don't think we'll have to worry about much rain. Just a few passing clouds, otherwise a lot of sunshine with a mostly clear sky on the way later on tonight. But again, Friday night and the parts of Saturday, that's when our next system begins to move in for showers and some heavy rainfall at times, maybe even some thunderstorms as we head towards Friday night as well. Here's where it begins to move in. So most of Friday we're dry. It's Friday night where things can get a little interesting, and a decent amount of rainfall as well. 1 to 2 inches of rain cannot be ruled out before we're all finished up, so some more decent rainfall across a good part of the state. So for today, we're dry, partly cloudy, mild and breezy, highs in the low 60s, with that southwest wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 40s, mostly cloudy, not as cool, with that south breeze getting up to about 5 miles per hour. Shepherd Toyota extended forecast. Friday is Veterans Day, mostly cloudy, highs in the low 60s. The rain begins Friday night, some thunderstorms possible as well. We'll have upper 60s on Saturday, rain likely, and some afternoon rain Sunday before we dry out on Monday.